Oh, beautiful.
Hello YouTube, welcome to episode 1 of Behind the Scenes. I think that's what it's going to be called anyway. I was originally going to call it Meet the Player, but I think it's going to be Behind the Scenes. Let me know what you think in the comments, which one's better. I don't think it really makes a difference, does it? So this video is something very different to what we've done so far. So far it's just been me playing golf with other people or me playing golf by myself, and that's going to stay, but this is a slightly different angle for the channel. I think it's really quite interesting, but it's, as I said, it's different. So sitting in front of a camera on a tripod and a settee is a little bit more intimidating than playing golf and filming it, because we're always doing that, we're always filming our swings. That's kind of second nature to us. But when I say us, I mean me and Monty in this case. But sitting on the sofa was a lot harder, so bear with us, but as we do more of this we'll get better. I'm planning on doing this series with different players, and it gives us a chance to kind of get to know more about them and everything that they do to help them play full-time golf, whether that's them as an amateur, a pro, a playing pro, even club pros. It'd be interesting to see what they do. The plan with this series is to follow these guys as they go through the amateur ranks, turn professional, the professional ranks, or some of them will have already turned pro, to follow their journey, see them improve, and hopefully at some point see them on tour, because that's what they're all going for. Nobody can deny that. Nobody who's taking it seriously is going to swerve the fact and say they're not trying to get on tour, because there's no other reason you'd be playing. And I tell you what, full-time golf is not cheap, and it is not easy either. So right now, clearly the channel's getting no views, so it's going to give them very little exposure. But hopefully in a year or 2 years time or 3 years time, when the channel's got more subscribers, getting more views, it'll help put these guys on the map, showcase their golf, and hopefully get them some opportunities. When they start playing really well, when they get good results, people might take notice. So it's quite exciting. I'll put timestamps in the description, so if you want to listen to us discuss certain or specific topics, then you can fast forward to those, but hopefully you want to watch all of it. There's some pretty interesting stuff discussed, but I appreciate it might not be for everybody, so if you don't like this kind of video, I understand that. That's enough of that. Let's get to it and see the big man swing it.
Yeah, good putt, Monty. Oh, he's pulled off a worldie.
Go on.
Yeah, shot, Monty.
Play it, Monty.
That's a peach, that. Look at that. Look at that. Real nice.
How much can you see?
Pretty much all of it.
Can you see my feet?
No.
Okay, ideal. That's good.
I cannot see your feet, mate. Feels like I'm on Sky Sports.
Yeah, go for it.
Mate, look at that. Do you reckon you see that? What is that? It's toothpaste, isn't it? Maybe we should have got pump on before. Right then, welcome to episode 1 of Behind the Scenes. Today I'm joined with my good friend Monty Scousel. We've known each other for about, 5 years?
5 years?
Yeah, since first year of uni. He was our first team captain at Exeter. Played a lot of golf together, haven't we?
Yeah.
Over the years, a lot of golf.
We have.
I've learned a lot of stuff from him, because when we met I was off 3. What were you, plus?
+1 maybe?
+1?
+1.
Yeah, so I learned a lot of stuff from Monty. This series is going to be something a little bit different, so bear with us. It may be brilliant, it may not be. It might get really technical, it might not. But it's about getting to know Monty himself. This is slightly more relaxed. Get to know you, get to know about your golf, your clubs. We'll do a what's in the bag. Yeah, so the channel isn't just about watching me compress it, how fun that might be. It's about showcasing some good players I'm mates with. So hopefully you can learn a bit about golf or just have fun watching it. We'll start with letting Monty introduce himself. We'll get your handicap, your world ranking and your home club.
Hi, yeah, so my name's Monty Scousel. I'm based here in Suffolk, play at Woodbridge Golf Club. Handicap is +3. My world ranking is, I think, 900 and something.
What was it when it was its lowest?
The lowest I got down to 700, I think.
It's pretty good.
Which was decent effort from last year.
What does that get you in? Does that get you in everything?
It'd get you in most of the top events around the world, but probably US amateur. The goal to next year is to sort of break into the top 200 before I sort of look at turning professional. Yeah, that's my current sort of synopsis, I'd say.
Yeah, so I did play a +2 and +1 now, and I struggle to get into a lot of the big events. I can get into English Amateur, Walton Heath Trophy and stuff, but to play the really big ones like the Irish Am, British Am, what other ones are there?
Spanish Am.
Spanish Am.
Yeah.
You need a world ranking. I've got one, it's 2,500. They're not easy to get. Once you've got one, it's quite easy to improve it, but I've not really played enough golf. But Monty being such a high ranked player, you can easily get into the events. So hopefully for me next year, you push for the bigger events. Okay, what does a typical day of practice as a full-time amateur look like?
Well, I'm a big believer in playing holes. I'm not one who can stand on a range for 3 hours and feel like I'm going to get any better. I sort of make a lot of my improvements on the golf course. So for me, I'll try and play 9 holes or potentially 18 most days. Certainly do a lot of short game. Wedge play is something I've really focused on the last couple of years. You know, the ability to hit a good flighted wedge with some spin.
It's crucial, isn't it?
Is so important. For me, I'll do a lot of my actually sort of long game practice on the course, and then my short game stuff I can do sort of away from the course. Typical day of practice. Well, also I'd like to hit the gym. That's something that's so important in the game these days, and something I personally enjoy. So it's quite nice I can tie enjoyment in with improving my golf. So there's a lot of sort of speed-based stuff in the gym, power stuff, things like squats, deadlifts, anything that you can improve your exertion of force, I guess, to essentially create more speed. If you look at like DeChambeau and what he's done recently,
last week,
it just shows that's the way the game's moving. So that's a big emphasis in my training as well.
One of the goals for both of us this winter is to get jacked.
To get big.
But in all seriousness, as you said, if you don't hit it long, I think you're sacrificing shots.
You are.
Yeah, on the field.
Completely.
It's kind of it's not a necessity if you're world class around the greens and stuff, but it just gives you a huge advantage to no-brainers. Linking on to that, so you mentioned your gym regime. Anything you're working on, like specifically? So you said we're trying to get big, but how do you do that?
Well, for me, it's skinny legs. Well, for me, it's a typical sort of warm-up set of 8 sets of 50 bicep curls. No, it's like I said, it's power stuff. Anything that I can sort of create force. And essentially, this winter with the current situation and not being able to probably play much golf abroad, I'm going to put a big focus on eating right, getting enough calories in to essentially get more muscle mass and hopefully help me hit the ball further, because I think a lot of guys I've spoken to are planning on doing a very similar thing.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
So if I'm quite tall, I'm 6'5", so I think that's why James has made us sit down for this.
But I'm not 5'6". I might look it when he's filming it. I'm 6'2", I promise.
Yeah, so I'm blessed with quite a big frame anyway. So
yeah, the potential for distance is huge, isn't it, with you?
Exactly. So if I can maximise that or get close to maximising that, hopefully it'll give me an advantage.
Yeah. Neither of us are S&C coaches, but we've both been lucky enough to work with some superb S&C coaches. So Exeter we had Lee Kirk and Beef.
Yeah, brilliant.
They were absolutely class. They were learned so much from them. Then when I was at St Andrews, the coaches there were so good as well, Claire. And even though we don't have qualifications, I think we're pretty well versed in fitness and strength and conditioning, more especially golf strength and conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
We could get really technical, but maybe another video.
Yeah.
We can delve into that, but not today. Diet, mate. Are you following a specific diet, or are you on the course, off the course?
So for me, sort of off the course, kind of depends where I'm at. If I'm travelling, it's a bit more difficult
it's brutal, isn't it?
Difficult to get in what you would ideally get if you were at home and training at home or whatever.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Just because sometimes you've got to eat out, potentially eat foods you wouldn't necessarily want to eat, but just whatever's accessible. If you had a long day on the course, the last thing you want to do is maybe come in and cook a 3-course healthy meal. That's
probably my least favourite thing about playing events. Unless you had an Airbnb or self-catered, going to Tesco and just buying all ready-made stuff, or going to a restaurant, it just was not ideal.
It's difficult and it's expensive as well.
You're trying to beat your peak performance and you're eating out, it's just, it's really not easy.
Not easy. I mean, I try and just make sure I'm getting enough protein and
Yeah.
carbs on the road, really. And if it's not the best source, then well, so be it. But then when I'm at home, I can get a bit more dialed in
Yeah,
my diet,
exactly.
keep it cleaner. On the course, I'm not one to eat loads on the golf course. I like protein bars, sort of maybe like nuts and stuff like that. It's just something that will keep me going, but nothing that will sort of clog me up. I'm not a peanut butter
Maybe
and jelly
Yeah.
sandwich guy, so yeah, anything that keeps me fueled, keeps my energy levels pretty constant is important to me.
Yeah. People might not think it's that important, diet, but it is. Like, you look at the tour pros, they've all got chefs, they've got personal chefs. It
so
proves how
important.
it's so important, because if you eat the wrong thing at the wrong time, or don't eat, and your energy levels fall, and then you get to like the back 9 or the back 3 holes, and it's important. You need those energy levels. don't you?
Definitely, so
Otherwise,
important.
You'll start hitting it in the bund. Mental game, mate. I know you've been working quite hard on that, haven't you, recently? Last few years especially.
Yeah, the mental game, can't stress the importance of, whatever level you play at, whether it be trying to beat your mates on a Saturday in a 4-ball and you've got a putt 4-footer on the last to win, or you're playing in, the Open Championship, whatever level, the importance of it is obviously completely relevant to the player who's playing.
Basically, what we're trying to say here is that the mental game is important at all levels of golf, but its importance increases as the standard of golfer improves. This is because the differences physically and mechanically between players at a higher level of golf are smaller, so an improved mental game will have a more beneficial impact on the scores of that golfer as opposed to on a higher handicapper who would see more benefit and a greater reduction in scores by focusing on their mechanics and their technique as opposed to focusing on their mental game. If you're off like a 24 handicap, getting really good mentally isn't going to actually improve you that much because you swing still shit.
Exactly.
No offence.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, maybe not shit, but you know what I mean.
You could improve.
I suppose if you're a plus handicapper who's very good tee to green, plays with their mates, shoots 6 under, no problem, then goes out on the course in an event and it's a different story. They can't break par, which we see a lot, don't we?
See a lot, yeah.
It's no detriment to the quality of the golfer. It's just their ability to deal with the added pressure of a competition.
The external stresses of competing, and when something
Huge.
matters,
Yeah,
it's on the line. That can be one of the biggest frustrations. The amount of times you hear, I played great in the practice round, or been playing great going into the event, and then shoot 76. And it's easy to do, but it's the ability to work on the mental game to understand why you might be doing that, but also how to deal with those external stresses that pop up on almost every hole you play in a tournament.
It is a different world playing competitive golf, especially when it matters, when you're trying to make a potential living from it. It's a different game, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've never played for money. You've never played for money.
No.
But that's going to be.
That's a
some
different
people
level.
take to it, don't they? Like
Like
that.
Definitely.
I think what's interesting for Monty, not me as much anymore, but for me as well, last year when I was taking it really seriously, it's sometimes hard to enjoy golf. You're on the course battling so hard to play well. But I see it in club comps as well. We play in Saturday comp and people are throwing clubs, like getting so angry. I'm thinking, you're here for fun.
Yeah.
Like, just relax.
Just relax.
But it's easy for me to say.
Yeah.
I've been there, I've snapped. But I've never slapped a club actually. Slapped a club?
Not out of anger.
No, by accident.
By accident, I've
Wrapped it
snapped
around
a
the
club.
tree.
Yeah. Done that a few
The
times.
stuff you see in a Saturday comp, mate, and big wagger events,
Yeah.
how angry people get.
People, and you just sort of think, if you're mentally strong, you've got an advantage on everyone else in the field. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who a good tour pro is. You've got Dustin Johnson, who obviously does not give a shit at any point. I don't know how he manages that.
No.
Who else do you reckon?
Who's mentally good?
Who's mentally strong?
Well, not Till Hatton.
Just inside 130, had to hook it around a tree. Oh my gosh, he hit the tree and then threw his...
No, but then, the thing is, everyone has their own ways of dealing with stuff.
He gets it out, doesn't he? Like,
He does.
bang, shot,
And then he moves on.
It's good. If you don't let it linger.
No.
Ooh, this is a big flare right.
You seen a worse golf shot? No, answer the question. That's terrible.
You can get angry and get it out when you just let it manifest into a hole and hole.
Absolutely.
Frustration. That's when your golf suffers.
You've got to think someone like even DeChambeau. I mean, mentally, very, very good. Talk about his physical side, but he's mentally very strong as well. And it's why they can compete week in, week out, because not only do they have a great game, their mental side is extremely resilient.
He does like whinging though. Yeah, what have you been focusing on to improve your mental game?
I'm someone who can get pretty stressed out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So probably a career in golf is not ideal for
It's
that.
the wrong path to be
Yeah,
taking, mate.
but it's something I'm working really hard on. Been seeing a psychologist at certain points
Okay,
to
good.
chat through certain things. Not just necessarily or sort of stresses that arise on the golf course, but it's just dealing with the general environment that you have at a tournament. You know, you're staying away from home, which is not easy when you're playing poorly. You're travelling sometimes
By yourself.
by yourself, and it's not the easiest thing to do. But in terms of sort of on course, one thing for me is just making sure that it's very cliche, but I commit to one shot at a time,
Yeah,
and I execute the shot that I talk through, whether it be a 6-footer for a double bogey, or whether it be a bunker shot from 50 yards and have to get up and down to make the cut, or whatever it is. I don't try not to put added importance on any particular shot, because every shot is very important.
It is. You missed the cut by one shot. Doesn't matter which shot.
No, doesn't matter
was,
which shot it
yeah.
was. Yeah, if you hit a 7-iron out of bounds, or you hit a miss a 3-foot putt, each shot has its own importance. So, for me, it's trying to place no particular emphasis on the
Yeah.
importance of any shot.
Okay, coaching. I know you've got a coach. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah.
Anything you're working on currently in your game?
I'm lucky to have a really great coach. Stephen Orr is his name. He's based down in Sussex at Rustington Golf Centre. I've been
Nice.
seeing him for about 3 years now. He's improved my game dramatically. I mean, we've really got a lot better. I think he's a very holistic coach. He takes a look at all sides of the game: physical, mental, obviously technical, and that's something I think is probably underestimated in a lot of amateurs. They would rather just go to the range and hit balls and think that's how I'm going to get better at golf, rather than maybe spend some time actually putting, or spend some time getting stronger, getting more flexible, maybe getting slightly mentally better. That's actually how you improve, take shots off your game. So he's brilliant in that sense, and we have a very similar philosophy in how I'm going to improve, and that's very important.
That's important, yeah. You need to be on the same wavelength.
Definitely.
If you're clashing with your coach,
It's not going to work. Yeah. Something we've worked really hard on has been my driving. It's been a sort of Achilles heel for me in the past. I always would tend to hit a couple.
Always 20 yards behind me.
Yeah, debatable. I would always have the ability to hit, a couple over the road, which is never great.
When you're on the cut line as well.
Yeah, when you're on the cut line, or you're leading a
Contention,
tournament.
yeah.
So worked really hard on the driver, trying to hit more fairways, and that's something we've achieved. My iron play's always been pretty strong,
Pretty solid, isn't it? Yeah.
I hit a lot of greens normally if I'm in the fairway, which is always good. But for me, the biggest one was wedge play, and ultimately that kind of comes with driving the ball better. If you're driving the ball better, you're going to have more wedge shots, and hitting your wedges inside that sort of 15-foot bucket. That's how you make birdies.
You did surprise me yesterday how good we haven't played much in the last year.
Yeah.
How good your short game was.
Yeah.
Like the bunker shots especially. You'll see it on the course floor coming up next. Yeah, world class.
Yeah, so definitely my bunker play is certainly a strong point, and just generally around the greens is something I work hard on, and it's something that's I think enables me to score well when I'm not hitting the ball well, which is very important.
Remember the St Andrews event where you came second, you lost in the playoff?
Yeah.
Your short game there was like phenomenal. Yeah, I was going to mention with the coaching, so at your level, unless you're like Bubba Watson or something, it's so important because the minute differences or improvements make such a difference. But at the club golfer level as well, it's probably one of the most beneficial investments to get better. Go and spend £1,000 on a new set of clubs, you're not really going to get that much better. But go and get like 5 lessons, what's that, 250 quid?
Yeah.
The improvements you see would probably be considerably bigger.
Definitely.
Just buying some new sticks.
Definitely.
Yeah. Anything you're currently working on, like right now? Doesn't have to be your golf game, it can be anything.
Fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me it's obviously with the lockdown happen, I took the decision to try and stay in shape and get fit, because actually when you're travelling on the road, even though you're obviously doing a lot of miles on the golf course, it's very easy to let your fitness slip, especially your strength training. Last thing you want to do is finish your 5-hour round of golf and then go in the gym. It's not appealing. You just want to sit on your hotel bed and eat chocolate. That's basically what you want to do.
Yeah.
For me, it was just getting fit, and that's something I'm really gonna look forward to this winter.
Good man.
And in terms of my golf game, just keep my short game sharp. Really, I mean, like I said, I'm doing a lot of just trying to play as much on the golf course so that I keep my long game intact, and then just keep my short game really sharp, make sure I'm holding putts. And
Tell you what, if you don't think golf is a sport, you're a joker. It is.
Oh, absolutely.
It's ridiculous. Look at the guys at the top. They are absolute athletes. So people who say it's a game, no, I don't get that.
I mean, the movement of the golf swing is one of the most athletic movements that you could do in any sport. It's
Crazy.
You only got to watch someone who's never played golf before pick up a golf club and try to swing it, and they can't get it past their hips.
Yeah.
Because it's an athletic movement that requires
Absolutely.
a lot of flexibility and strength.
Right, this is a good one. Your goals for the next 2 years?
Well, I think at the moment, I was sort of, this year is umming and ahhing about whether I should turn professional, and I'm in the fortunate position where I've got some good sponsorship behind me and good people around me to support me, in the sense that I've decided to stay amateur certainly for next year, and see if I can, you know, break into sort of the top 200 in the world rankings, and then hopefully that will open some doors in terms of turning professional. Certainly for the next year, so stay amateur, and if I have a good amateur year next year, I might think about lingering around for the Walker Cup the following year, which would be a great thing to play in.
Oh,
but,
that would be the pinnacle, wouldn't it?
Would be the pinnacle of
Amateur game.
amateur golf, yeah. But in the next 2 years, I would hopefully turn professional and try to start making some cash.
There's a few ways to make it as a pro, so you know better than me, but you can either turn pro early, play mini tours, work your way up to eventually the same spot. Everyone's aiming for the European Tour or the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
But I personally, if I was going to do it, I'd stay in the amateur game as long as possible till I feel like I'd achieved as much as you could in that game, and then I'd switch, because I think people get confused. The amateur and pro game crosses over massively, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
You
absolutely.
see, the US Open, the guy leading the first round was an amateur.
Yeah.
That just proves it.
Yeah.
Matt Wolf was an amateur turned pro.
Yeah.
Won, his first event. Was it his first event?
Yeah, I would say third event or second event.
Crazy on the PGA Tour.
Well, you only got to cast yourself back to 2015 at St Andrews when Paul Dunn was
There you
leading
go.
through 3 rounds.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I think that one.
I think the top amateurs and the top professionals is very, very
It really
little
is.
difference. It's
People don't
probably,
realise that.
especially the guys coming out of college. I mean, you know, they're tour ready. They're tour ready.
Yeah.
You look at Morikawa, you know, Hovland, people like that.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting with the new handicap system. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure professionals are going to have a handicap, a playing handicap, which is going to be very interesting. So people say they're pros, but a lot of them won't play that much, and compared to a playing amateur of +3, +4, it's just incomparable, really. So that'll be quite interesting.
It will.
When pros get handicaps.
Yeah, well,
See what our handicaps will be, actually.
yeah, 4.
Yeah, yeah, I'm slightly worried. Right, this is an interesting one. What do you see on a weekly basis that differentiates the people or the boys winning the big WAGR events and you and me? The difference.
It's a good question. I think probably the difference between those guys winning the events and me, I would say probably putting. I think for me, one of my downfalls has been too much of a streaky putter, potentially.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same.
When I putt well, I'm fine, but when I don't putt well, it's bad. It's bad.
It's a lot of strokes lost, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And, you know, the top amateur level, like, everyone hits it pretty well. Everyone can hit the ball decent length, you know, short games are on the whole pretty good. But it's normally, if I've played with guys who have played really well or shot good scores, always they've putted well. And you can't deny that. So I think for me, it's putting well, not just for 1 round, it's putting well for 4 rounds. That's how you win a tournament.
It is. You normally say, don't you, the best putters of the best ball strikers win the event on average.
Yeah.
That's right, innit?
That's it. That's
not
it.
always, of course, but
No.
I don't think you're going to win an event without putting well.
No.
You just doesn't happen, does it?
Yeah. Between them and you, I would say it's difficult because you're not playing as much. And I think one thing we noticed from the course vlog that you'll see was that James's ball striking is brilliant. He's always been a fantastic driver of the golf ball. I mean, I've played with some really seriously good players, and I generally don't think I've seen anyone drive a golf ball better than James.
Thank you, mate.
No, genuinely. But the difference is like shot selection, I think. When you're out of the game, you're not playing very much, you're not on the course very much. It's sort of things like your yardages, your awareness of where the pin is on the green, where you want to miss, especially in like a big wind like we played in yesterday. Those things tend to just sort of to leave you a little bit, and so you can end up hitting the wrong club. You end up missing it in the wrong spot, so that you then can't get up and down. In terms of sort of ability, there's very little difference. It's just a case of sort of being, I guess tournament ready is such an important thing.
Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Big shout out to Monty for letting me come down to his gaff. Yeah, so keep your eye out for the course log coming out the next few days. Play a 9-hole scratch match at Aldborough. As I said, it's a great course, so it's a good match as well. Decent quality of golf. Not bad for a part-timer. He's obviously full-time, so he should be giving me shots, but as I said, we don't take shots. Yeah, let me know what you think about that. Thanks very much. See you later.